I hope that one of the biggest things that I hope that I do for 2022 is to convince people that a lot of what we have to do is just get up and get going and continue to do that. I think we have this sort of romantic notion, image in our mind of actually achieving the big thing that we want to achieve. And I don't necessarily understand all of what happens behind that. But we have this sort of imaginary view that things are going to be romantically better within the next year or even within the next few years. But that's not how life actually happens. And I want to actually talk about that today. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslock. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation, Strategy, and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out. So one of the things that I see a lot with students, even with my own self, all the time is we have this sort of romantic notion of what it means to start a business or go to get an education, to go to college or whatever. And we have this very romantic notion in our minds of what that actually means. And when you start that business and you actually start doing that thing, you think that it's going to be very quick. And within the next year, you're going to be, for starting a business, you're going to be making $1 million a year. And it's going to be this easy, romantic sort of life. But if you get a college degree, you get a university degree, whether it being an undergraduate or completing your high school, whether you complete your high school, you get a college degree, or go to graduate school and get your doctorate, you have this sort of romantic notion that if we get there, if we get that thing, we put in all this work and you get that one thing, then it's going to be on easy street and life's going to be very simple. And then when you actually get to do those things, when you realize that those endpoints, those little things, or milestones, whatever those things are, you realize is that they don't mean anything once you've done it. And what matters actually is the fact that you're getting up and getting going and doing the grind every day. And what you quickly realize is that, and don't take this the wrong way, because I know that some people are going to construe this in the wrong sense, you realize is that education didn't necessarily matter, or starting that business, getting that piece of paper, or in that sort of moment where you're like, I started this thing, doesn't matter. But what matters is going through the motions and doing the dirty work, the grind, the getting into the mess, and doing that on a daily basis, every single day. And what's interesting is that we look for sort of secrets to get around that dirty work. But what we forget is that dirty work, all of the sort of where you're grinding and it's not fun, that is actually the moment of doing the thing that you want to do. And that is the good stuff, is that grind and feeling like you got in and you dug that hole. And when you dig that hole, you're dirty, your hands are messy, and you look at it at the end of the day and you have a sense of accomplishment. And you're sweaty and gross, and it's that moment, those particular things, is actually what you're trying to do. And what you forget is that it's not about the starting of something, but it's actually just the daily grind of doing it every day. That little start, yes, it's hard for some people to start something or finally put their flag in the ground and say, I'm going to do that thing, and sort of march that way. But what really matters is that day to day, and not being upset with yourself when you feel like you failed at the end of the day, but just, going to bed and being okay with who you are. It takes an awful lot of courage to do that every day. And that's why the actual degree or whatever you're looking at, whether it's a degree or starting a business or whatever it is that you're doing, it's really irrelevant. What is more important is just getting up and enjoying your life and living your life and being a thoughtful, kind, and generous person. Sort of larger virtues and traits that are kind of willy-nilly, but they actually matter a lot to what you actually do and how you feel, and that are not necessarily, there's no sort of takeaway from that, but other than just enjoying the process and knowing that the grind itself is the thing that you're trying to accomplish. It's not the end goals. It's not that sort of magical moment where, you've made $1 million a year, whatever it is, that everybody thinks it's a sort of magical moment, and they become a successful business owner, whatever that means. But you actually just kind of do the day to day. It's like if you're running a store, right? Like you open up the store and people come in, or people might not come in that first day, but you don't just say, hey, this was, I'm successful at this moment, or this is the thing that I wanted to try to do. But you get up and you start going around and rustling people up and spreading the word and trying to find other people to come into the store. And then when they come in the store, you greet them. And then you do that for 25 years, where you greet them and you make them feel comfortable. You make them feel like they're part of home. And that's really what you're trying to do. It has nothing to do with the sort of romantic notion of starting something or completing something. There's really no complete with whatever the thing that you're doing. It really is ongoing, and it's just an extension to some degree of who you are as a person. And the whole process of doing these things, whether it's getting a degree or, starting a business, is really thinking about how can I extend who I am and become a more impactful person and being able to lead more people. That's why it's kind of a false notion to think about, Walmart, for example, as being, complete or done. They're always thinking about ways that they can extend and influence people and have a bigger, larger impact than what they do. And that might never end. It might keep going because there's always more that you can do and extend and impact people and have more influence, change their lives, hopefully for the better. And if it's not for the better, self-correct so that it feels like it's for the better. And that's really what you have to think about. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.